Welcome back to Heroic Book Adventures. I'm Steve, and today I wanted to bring you heroes up to the highest elevation point on my land. With all the foliage on the trees, I don't think you can quite see all the mountains off in the distance, so maybe I'll bring you back up here in the winter, but it's a beautiful view. And on my way up, I passed by a beautiful black racer snake. They are my all-natural rodent control, so I leave them alone and actually even welcome them to stay around my structures. And then once I got up top here, a few feet from where I'm sitting, there was a male and female pair of broad-headed skinks. The male will have his head turn orange during the mating season, so I'm hoping they're working on making more babies because they are little insect eating machines. Yeah, every single day is a miracle out here in the woods. So last night I finished reading Robert E. Howard's Sword Woman. This is a collection of 5 stories. 3 of them are based on the character of Dark Agnes, set in medieval France. And then the 2 others are totally unrelated stories. So I should probably get those 2 out of the way first, because quite honestly, they were thrown in as filler just to make this book length. They both felt incomplete, like they were just like the beginning chapters of larger stories, but they were okay to read. I would give them both around a 6 out of 10. Even Howard's weakest works are still readable. But really the highlight of this collection was the 3 Dark Agnes stories. And it's a shame that Howard only lived long enough to write 3 of these, because they were so cool. I mean, you read 100 pages and you just love the character in these stories, and then all of a sudden it's just that's it. So it's a real shame. It doesn't credit the cover artist, unfortunately, but I really love that portrayal of Dark Agnes. That's a cool one. Agnes lives in poverty in a small little village, a very hard life. And the story starts off, we follow her on the day where she's to be married through an arranged marriage to a guy that she's absolutely repulsed by. So she decides, no, I am not going to be forced into that life. We even hear, okay, this is the very first words out of the story here. Agnes, you red-haired spawn of the devil, where are you? It was my father calling me after his usual fashion. What a poetic way to begin a story, wouldn't you say? So, rather than becoming married to a guy she hated, she gets a hold of a dagger and gets to work and decides that she is never going to let anybody rule over her ever again. And the stories are just fun. We have one point, it's highlighted in the beginning, where she takes care of an entire room full of bandits, and then this commander shows up in the door after hearing the noise, and he walks in and he says, "Is this your work, girl?" "Aye, it was a debt I had to pay." "Nails of the devil," he swore. "A true swordswoman is worth a score of men. Will you ride with me?" "As a companion in arms," I said. "I am mistress to none." He laughed, then grimaced at my dripping sword and the fresh split corpses that littered the floor, then swore, "None save death." And then later on, after action that Agnes took, "A strange woman you are, Dark Agnes," quoth he. "You seem to move through life like one of the fates, unmoved, unchangeable, potent with tragedy and doom. I think men who ride with you will not live long." So this was not humor in the sense of, makes you laugh out loud, but I just found myself having a smile on my face the entire time reading this because just the banter between characters was just so entertaining. Uh, I love these stories. And anybody who's familiar with Howard's writing knows that this is just absolutely painted with violence. So anyone that's a fan of Sword and Sorcery or Grimdark or C.L. Moore's Jarell of Jory character, you're going to want to track down and read the Dark Agnes stories. So I will see you red-haired heroes on our next woodland adventure.